On March 8, the jury began their deliberations in the trial of three men who are accused of killing the up-and-coming rapper XXXTENTACION during a robbery outside a motorcycle shop in South Florida in 2018. The three suspects, namely Michael Boatwright, Dedrick Williams, and Trayvon Newsome, are charged with first-degree murder and will receive life imprisonment as a mandatory sentence if found guilty. The prosecutors did not pursue the death penalty. According to the allegations, Boatwright, age 28, is responsible for the shooting, while Newsome, age 24, is said to be the other gunman involved in the crime. Meanwhile, Williams, 26, is accused of being the driver. The trial, which started in February, concluded with closing statements on March 8, following which the jury began its deliberations.
They were together. They were intending to rob anybody, really.
Today we are going to cover the essential details of the appalling crime and the trial proceedings, but before we go ahead, make sure that you are subscribed to our channel. Murder of XXXTENTACION. Jocelyn Froy, who went by the stage name XXXTENTACION, was a talented rapper whose album went platinum. His music touched on topics such as discrimination and mental health issues. However, he faced backlash over his conduct and several run-ins with the law. On June 18, 2018, XXXTENTACION and his friend were leaving Riga Motorsports in suburban Fort Lauderdale when an SUV cut in front of their BMW, blocking their path. As per the surveillance footage, two gunmen with their faces covered came out and confronted the young musician, age 20, at the driver's window. One of them shot him several times before taking a Louis Vuitton bag with $50,000 in cash that XXXTENTACION had taken out of a bank. The assailants then got into their SUV and sped away. The video also captured Leonard Kerr, the rapper's friend, running away from the car unharmed. Following the incident, the authorities arrested four suspects, namely Boatwright, Newsome, Williams, and Robert Allen. Allen pleaded guilty last year to second-degree murder and gave testimony against his former associates.
At some point, what happens next after they being Trayvon Newsome and Michael Boatwright, are on the same side of the driver's side of the victim's car?
The murder trial. During the opening statements in February, there was a chill in the air as the jurors heard two different stories about what happened. The prosecution said it was a failed attempt to rob someone, but the defense said it might have been because XXXTENTACION and Drake have been fighting for a long time. However, the defense team claimed that the detectives failed to investigate this angle properly.
Police ignored an extraordinary amount of evidence that Michael was not the killer, was not involved in this case.
Prosecutor Pascal Achille revealed that Boatwright, Newsome, Williams, and Allen had pre-planned to carry out armed robberies that day. She alleged that Allen and Williams had entered the motorcycle shop to purchase masks for their faces.
And while two of the defendants, Robert Allen, who's going to testify, and Dedrick Williams, who's on the end with the bow tie, go inside the store to purchase neoprene masks.
As per Achille, Boatwright and Newsome stumbled upon XXXTENTACION outside the motorcycle shop and immediately recognized him. The group saw this as an opportunity to rob him as he left the store. According to Achille, Boatwright shot the young artist multiple times without any justification.
You'll hear how Michael Boatwright fires several times, killing the victim at close range. You'll also be...
The prosecution cited surveillance video footage and cell phone locations, along with Allen's testimony, to implicate all the defendants to varying degrees in the crime. The defense's claim that the detectives ignored the alleged feud between XXXTENTACION and Drake is further compounded by social media photos of the defendants flaunting the stolen money posted on the night of the killing. However, the defense attorneys argue that their clients are victims of Allen's false accusations.
Robert Allen is the only person.
Additionally, they point out that XXXTENTACION had a history of feuds with other rappers, including one who had made threats against him. Prosecutors emphasized that there was no credible evidence linking Drake to the crime.
Contained within the box that is now received in evidence is a firearm, is a spent cartridge.
Williams, recognizable by his unique facial tattoos, was clearly visible in the store's surveillance footage, and one of the store clerks also identified him. Joseph Kimmock, Boatwright's attorney, suggested that a third man who matched his client's build could have been the actual shooter.
If Robert Allen testifies in this case, he will lie, and we will prove that he is lying.
He pointed to a friend of Williams who was seen talking to him inside the motorcycle shop before the shooting as a possible suspect. Kimmock suggested that the friend could have gotten into the SUV that Williams was driving outside the range of the cameras. During his testimony, Kerr, who was with XXXTENTACION at the time of the incident, described how the armed robbers confronted them as they were leaving the motorcycle shop.
Don't come out there from the car. You stay in the car. You stay in the car. Don't come out there from the car. And I was like, you know,
Okay, so where were you seated out of these two seats?
I was in the passenger seat.
He recalled running away in fear and then hearing the fatal gunshots that ended XXXTENTACION's life. Leonard Kerr, who is friends with XXXTENTACION, said that during the ambush, two people with guns came up to them. One of the men, who was taller, pointed his gun at Kerr and instructed him not to leave the car, using a vulgar word. Meanwhile, the other man attempted to snatch the rapper's gold chain.
And the next one was around to Jesse's side of the car. Digging, give me the chain. Where's the chain? Give me the chain.
Who was saying that, and who was he saying it to?
Jesse, he was out digging Jesse back for a chain.
What was Jose doing in response to that, as one of the gunmen is trying to grab his chain?
I hear it was like, like he was saying, what is for?
Kerr heard XXXTENTACION asking why they were doing this. At that moment, Kerr decided to take action and hit the button to open the passenger door.
Who was driving?
Jesse,
And what position in the car were you?
I was in the front seat.
Front seat passenger?
Yeah.
Even though he knew that running away could be dangerous.
Okay. At some point, you press the button, right? The door opens upward, correct? Okay. You turn around and you run towards the door, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
If I run, I can get shot, but I can live. If I sit, Kerr said, trailing off. When he looked back, he saw the taller gunman aiming at XXXTENTACION and heard two loud shots.
The shot one come around to my side. The taller one go to Jesse's side.
Okay, so
And
it's almost
after
like,
that,
I'm sorry?
And then I heard something like, fire, fire. How much time I don't know, but I heard something like exploding.
The men then returned to their SUV and drove off. Closing arguments. During closing arguments on March 7th, Achil characterized the three defendants as predators who laid in wait to ambush XXXTENTACION. She presented cell phone videos allegedly taken by the defendants hours after the killing, showing them smiling and dancing while displaying handfuls of $100 bills. Achil played the video saying, "This is who they are. This is their real character. Killers that within 24 hours after shooting the victim dead and stealing $50,000 from him. This is what they do." She also showed surveillance video from the motorcycle shop and the location where two of the men allegedly hid an SUV, which she claims ties them to the killing. In addition, she recounted statements from Allen, who testified against his former friends.
Comments to you.
Second. Yeah, in a blue suit,
Okay, there's two people wearing a blue suit. What race is he?
black,
And is he seated on the end, middle?
in the middle.
Okay. And who is that you're pointing out to?
Trayvon Newsom.
Your Honor, please let the court identify any court identification of Trayvon Newsom in this case for this matter. Okay. So Trayvon Newsom made a comment to you after you started testifying. What was the comment that Trayvon Newsom made to you after you started testifying in this case?
He called me a police ass nigga and said that I work for the white man and I'm a sellout.
George Rares, the attorney for Newsom, urged the jury not to convict his client solely based on Allen's testimony or evidence that implicates the other defendants, stating that Newsom was not present at the scene.
Case that Antonio King's
XXXTENTACION Breezy did in fact fly to South Florida and did in fact post video of himself threatening to be armed and threatening the decedent prior to his death. He further, I know, but I'm letting
Counsel, then subpoena 600 Breezy, what does that have to do with someone else?
I'll tell you.
Who you have no evidence of being involved other than hearsay and innuendo. You are now trying to just drag somebody in who's a celebrity who does not want to be associated with this, and the harm to that individual is not inconsequential.
Rears argued that Allen, a convicted felon 12 times over, should not be considered credible, and that Newsom's DNA was not found on any of the evidence. He also urged jurors not to believe that Newsom was guilty solely based on the video of him flaunting cash with the others, claiming that Newsom may not have known where they got the money. He did some foolish things. He posed with some cash, Rears said. The law does not allow guilt by association. Mauricio Padilla, Williams' lawyer, called Allen a liar. He claimed that the prosecution's witnesses contradicted one another and that the detectives from the Broward County Sheriff's Office failed to investigate other potential suspects, including Drake. Padilla argued that Williams earned money from tattooing and other jobs that paid him in cash, rendering the video of him flaunting money meaningless. Padilla, Williams' attorney, attempted to question the reliability of the surveillance video as evidence.
At this point, I think you have a cooperating witness that corroborates that Mr. Graham has nothing to do with this case. Mr. Graham is not listed in any report.
Although it shows Williams in the store and returning to the SUV, there were instances where the vehicle was obstructed and Williams could have left unnoticed. Kimmock, who represented Boatwright, delivered the final closing argument and asserted that DNA evidence exonerated his client and another person.
He would lie, he would do fraud for a few bucks out there. Imagine what he would lie about.
Whoever had a struggle with XXXTENTACION is not on trial, Kimmock informed the jurors. The DNA shows that someone other than Michael Boatwright or Trayden Newsom was involved in the murder. In her rebuttal argument, Achiel acknowledged that Allen was not an impeccable witness as he had prior felony convictions, but she reminded the jury that co-conspirators in murders seldom are. Plans made in hell do not have angels for witnesses, she said.
Plans that are hatched in hell do not have angels for witnesses. They were ready to rob whoever they came across that day. We know that. They were armed with firearms that were loaded. They had masks.
According to Achiel, the fact that the guns, masks, and money were never found is insignificant, since only Williams was arrested soon after the shooting, leaving ample time for the others to dispose of any evidence. She argued that the absence of DNA evidence linking the defendants to the murder does not exonerate them. She said that what is crucial is the cell phone and Bluetooth data that places the defendants together near the motorcycle shop at the time of the killing and inside the SUV used by the shooters during the same period. As we await the outcome of this trial, we hope that justice will be served for XXXTENTACION and his family. We also hope that his legacy will live on through his music and his fans. He may be gone, but he will never be forgotten. Rest in peace, XXXTENTACION. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of my future uploads. I cover high-profile court cases and trials from around the world and give you my analysis and commentary on them. Let me know in the comments what you think about this case and what other cases you want me to cover next. I appreciate your support and feedback. Until next time, stay tuned for more justice.